Michael and I are away on a 4-day trip in the Fraser Island paradise, sand riding, and I just thought we'd run through a comparison of my gear and Michael's gear of what we say are the essentials to get away for something like this. So up the top here is what I pack in my tank bag. Water, which is most important, a few snacks, glasses because I've got a tinted visor, some wet wipes, a mask because I keep forgetting them, a few painkillers, some good ones, and some Voltarens for muscle type stuff. Zumo and the Garmin InReach go together, and we've communicated with each other when needed on those. We can share files between each other, also with the XT. I bring a spare camera, you're watching on one of these now, and a good charger, spare battery and a spare SD card goes in there in the tank bag. 99% of the time I wear the bows and have a low powered charger for charging up the bows and the Plantronics, and ear tips and parts to fix my helmet go in here, along with earplugs in case all the technology goes down. So I've got spare parts to keep the helmet going, and that's about it for the top half of the front for the tank bag. And then into this bag at the back I now carry two tubes, an 18-inch and a 21. I was getting away with a 19 for a long time, but one weekend I got 3 punctures. And the tyre changing gear to go with that are the Ballard's metal ones, which have got different nut sizes there that you can undo things. The spanner to get the wheel off. 2 essential items for doing a tyre change on the side of the road with little levers. The keeper and the tool that you pull your valve through with. I've got the Moto Pressor air compressor. After buying a couple of cheap ones, buy a good one, never have to buy it again. And a fresh kit with good glue in it. So I had an old kit and got stuck that weekend, couldn't do that. And also packed with the tyre gear is a party pack of snakes and lollies, because if you're doing that, you need something to perk you up and get you through. Because we were riding on the sand and my pads were less than half worn, I got Michael to get me a set of brake pads for the rear. My toolkit is pretty basic, but does go up to the bigger sizes of torques. It's got all the fittings. It's got also some spare bolts that are the right size for some of the more essential stuff, subframes and whatnot. And you know, the KTM toolkit that comes with the bike all goes in that. I've got a couple of different kinds of tapes. I've got a really good waterproofing one for blisters, and of course duct tape and self-vulcanizing rubber tape in case there ever is a problem with a radiator hose or something like that. Tie down strap and a spare tie down strap because I've broken those before, and that will all comfortably go into this bag, which rolls up and secures with this onto the back area, leaving the tail bag for light items, you know, because it's up high and back, so you don't want anything heavy back there. If you can, bring it forward. So that's what I've got and what I bring. Obviously we've got knee braces, good helmets, armour, we're both wearing armour, and proper motocross boots. I'll do a quick shot of that in the morning because it's all spread outside drying. But let's have a look at what Michael's bought for the same 4-day, 3-night Fraser trip where we're staying. We're not camping. This is not camping gear.
Do you want to...
In my tank bag for easy access, I've got the tools for adjusting the axle, stand for putting down for the side stand if you're on boggy ground, pair of multi-tool Gerber, and a packet of zip ties. So they go in there and go with the tools.
Righto, my turn now. I'm known for carrying a bit of stuff. I'm a gearhead. I love gear, and I love good gear. I do need to try and probably go a little bit more minimum, and I probably could have this trip, because reality is we're not that far away if we need help, as long as we've got the basics covered, but it hurts your wallet, and I don't like that either. So I do work in the motorcycle industry, so I have access to gear through where I work. I've got a lot of gear though from before that, so it's not always just what we stock at work. I do try to stock what I believe in, but some things just aren't possible. But yeah, anyway, so Chris started with his tank bag. I run the Moskamoto Hood, the Hood 5 litre. I bought this specifically for my 690 because I have the other ones and the larger one doesn't fit. The smaller one is too small. This one's waterproof and quick access, so I purchased that one for that. I have probably every Moskamoto product there is, and I bought that before I started in the industry, but it's good enough that I would still buy it now anyway. It is heavy duty gear. It does come with a weight premium because it is rugged, but it's fully featured. So this one here, I've got a little, this is a little pin lock wiper that comes with, I run a sun reactive pin lock on all my visors that I use for touring or ADV, so that they clear at night and they tint during the day. And then this is a special wiper. I've just put a brand new pin lock in it, so there's a little zip up pocket in there, and it's just up in there, and I can put little bits and pieces up in there. I've also, I drink rum. When I was laying this out in this little pocket here, I've got earplugs, some used earplugs, but some not so used ones. I stick to the foam earplugs no matter what earplugs people say, this, that and the other. To me, nothing works as much as foam. They block the most amount of noise. I tried, I do have noise cancelling ones, but I do wear a tight fitting helmet in the eyes, and getting them in and out, it's just not worth the pain for me. So there is another little pocket here, zip up pocket here, and then I have a buff mask here, which is basically works well for dust and stuff. You can put filters inside it, and my neck sock that I'm currently wearing that's out there drying out will live in there if I'm not using it. The neck socks at the moment have been, I don't really normally like anything on my neck. Around my throat, I like an open neck, but riding in a jersey as we've been the last couple of days, if I don't have something on the back of my neck, I get cooked. So I've been using that, and it's been handy when we pull into shops and stuff along the way to be able to just go up like that, cover the face, happy days. So in the bottom there's these two little loops. Underneath those two little loops I had a paper map sitting in the bottom of Fraser Island. We do have GPSs, but it's nice to spread this out and then go through at night what we're going to look at. I have a little concoction spray bottle and a visor, a glass cleaner that I wear. In the bottom, underneath the bottom, will go my alarmed disc locked. My bike, because it's highly modified, it doesn't have a lot of the security features that normal bikes should have, so whenever I'm at a place like this where we're here, the bike's down there, I put my alarmed disc lock on it, so if anybody moves it, like if it's outside a pub and people go, oh cool bike, and they want to jump on it, this thing starts going off and they can't just wheel it away. Caught me out the other morning because I wanted to move it to try and transfer some fuel from the front tanks to the back tanks, and yeah, keys are upstairs and this thing's going off its head. So yeah, so that's, it comes in a little soft bag. I could take it out of there, but it's in there. And then that's a more robust bag, and it just sits down in the bottom with the keys. So that goes in there, that goes in there. I have, when I ride with Wiley X impact proof sunglasses. These are the same ones the US Special Forces use. They are a rated safety glass and definitely impact proof. They have a foam gasket on the inside, so I tend to run these instead of running goggles. I do have a set of goggles with me that fit in my Moscow Moto Reckless 40 version 1 that had the goggle pocket, and they live in a bit of a hard case so that they're protected, and it has its own glass wiper in there to help protect the lenses. That goes in the middle. I run my camera gear in there, so I run the DJI Osmos. So I have a little third-party box that takes three batteries, and the lid locks on so they don't fall out, and then it charges each one individually, and then that sits in there, and I have a charge cable coming in USB-C that can charge that, and it can also charge my battery pack that I bring with me, and that helps me keep batteries on the go. I throw my phone in there and my wallet in there. I throw a mask in there because we've got to have these masks. This bike doesn't have cruise control, so there was 303 hours of highway, so I threw one of these on. I did want to have a Omni lock, but my girlfriend has one and she can't work out where it is, so we threw this on, and that helped with the highway sections. And as soon as we got off the highway, this goes into the tank bag. I have my multi-tool, the Victorinox version, very sturdy pliers and a few bits and stuff like that on it. Had got that as a 18th present or a 21st present a long time ago, so that goes with me. Aldi battery pack, cheap, works. Various, so what have we got here? So camera gear, so yeah, I have a tripod which is currently on the bottom of that camera. It's only a small little one with telescopic legs. It's just for putting down on the ground and doing drive past videos or anything that we want to do to try and catch ourselves. I bring a second camera with a selfie stick because we're trying to get this video stuff going. My partner touring Valvoline, and I'm known as Colonel Coleman or CC, so we're trying to get my channel going as well. So with the Moscow bag comes these two little pockets, and they velcro into the side, and then I've used them on this trip. This one holds the camera gear, so this one goes in here. I've got spare SD cards, I've got the batteries in their little boxes, so I can just throw these in. Like today when I just go and need to change batteries, and I can pop a spare SD card in there. I still haven't got my audio perfect, so I have a little baggie with some stuff to try and help fix the audio. And then in these little pockets here, I roll these little cables up, so extra cables for charging things. I've got some AirPod Pro noise cancelling ones for listening to music or things like that quietly, and that's my little travel charger, and that goes in there as well. And then all of these cables loop up and fit in those pockets. That goes in there, that goes in there, and that all folds up, and that goes in one side. And then the other side, I've repurposed this one to on my bike. I've done a lot of work to the suspension. So I'm riding a 690 Enduro R that's been rallied, so it's got 36 litres of fuel. It's got the Raid Garage tank underneath. It's got Safari twin 9 litre tanks. I've had the suspension all rebuilt by Charlie Costanzo. He resprung it and revalved it for me. I put an X-Trick preload adjuster on the back. and I bought some fork tops off one of the EXC 6 days or something, and put them on with the preload adjusters because mine didn't have it. So I can adjust my preload on the forks, and I can adjust my clickers on the forks. And I'm the type of guy, I'm playing with my suspension all the time. If it's not perfect, it drives me insane. So in this bag I needed a tool to do the X-trig and to adjust the shock. So for that I have, at the moment I'm still trying to do a perfect tool, but I just have a little driver with a 1/4 inch and a lovely little Star Willy 1/4 inch ratchet with an 8mm. And then what that does is I put that on there, and then being that, or I want to go to a T-handle version without this, and I can easily judge half a turn, 3/4 turn, 1 turn, and just go up or down however I need it. And then similarly I've got a bit driver with a blade bit that I can just turn to do the rebound and the compression. And then because I am who I am, I've got a 15mm to adjust the high speed compression as well. So that goes on a 3/8, and that goes on there, and that adjusts it. Now the reason why I carried this one is because I have it, and I just wanted to put this together for this trip until I make or find the special tools that I want. But this is an adapter that goes into that one there, dropping bits everywhere, and it's a driver on my tyre lever. This is a piece they make for those who use the 22mm front axles, and you can't get one of these on a front axle. There's a 22mm socket that goes on that. This goes in there, and you've got the clearance to undo your 22mm axle. I don't have that. I've got a 32 rear and a 27 front. For today these were in my tool case, but they don't normally stay there. I have a spare key. I make sure I bring a spare key. I hide it in various places around the place, depending on where I'm going, what I'm doing, what's going to stay, and all that sort of stuff. But take your spare key, hide it on your bike, hide it in your gear somewhere, because you never know when you're going to need it. There's just a few zippy ties. I've got some electrical tape and some patches, a patch kit that I threw in there at the last minute because I was just mucking around. And then this one here is a special little one. This is, you put that on your sprocket, ramp it back, gives you the perfect adjustment for your chain every time. Okay, moving on, I have a first aid kit. I paid $50 to do a course, and this is about the best thing to come out of that course. That's enough, that's about all I'll say on that. Rum, because rum's important. And then this is my towel bag. So I have the Moscow Motive Reckless 40 that I've brought for this trip. I was going to try and stuff everything into my Reckless 10, but hey, I sweat like a steam train, so I need lots of clothes. So I had to bring lots of clothes, so I brought my Reckless 40 with the idea of I'll get it up here, I can then de-harness that, and then I pack everything in this bag here, which goes in the middle of that Reckless 40, and then I just use that as a towel bag when we go out for our day trips, so we're nice and light. In that I have a rear tube and a front tube. Now the camera probably doesn't show it up real well, but I'm a fat bloke and I ride hard, so I'm pretty hard on the gear. I have Michelin Desert Races on the bike, and I've got ultra heavy duty Michelin tubes in there.
So let's compare front tubes.
So these are not ultra heavy duty, these are just heavy duty tubes. So
quite a bit different.
Yeah, but they're what I have, and there is a reason for it, is I don't like changing tyres. So I run the ultra heavy duty tubes, and my first get out of jail card is this guy here. The 4mm tubes are thick enough to act like a tyre. Tip this stuff in, 99% of the time, job done. If you really have to do it, then I'm putting one of these in. I can use this with it. It's about 50-50 about when it works, but these are about the heaviest I can go that I can patch.
Pull your back tube out.
Well, the back tube to get it in this packing tube sucks. So I don't know the best way to pack tubes, but to this one, because it's round, I've rolled it round, stuffed it in the bag. It goes in first, and I pack everything else around it. But
You could just run that tube.
huh?
You could just run that tube.
Yeah. I was gonna just go with the front tube, but then I do have rim locks on my bike, but the amount of wheel spin that we're going to be doing, and especially like today where it was powder soft and it was spin, 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 grip, spin, 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 grip, and then a lot of inland tracks where it's soft stand and then you're just hitting roots and just buried plastic boards that they put down, buried boards that they put down. Just the opportunity for something to go pear-shaped was just too great. And the last time I had that happen, like, I know what I can buy stuff for, and it kills me having to pay through the arse to buy something that I know that, yeah. Happened to be in Birdsville. I was grateful I could buy a tyre, but it was like, yeah, Birdsville prices. Everything over here is this is my compressor. It's a good little compressor. It's what I've got, so it's what I've brung. I normally carry this because I do run a 1290 and I'm trying to seat tubeless tyres sometimes, which is a pain in the bum. With the plastic coating, I know it adds weight, but I can pick it up and move it around quickly. I don't have to wait for it to cool down to get it from the front to the back. I do have a bigger version, but it let me down on the Birdsville track by getting dust in the switch, where this one still may do that. So I am looking at a different option for that. There's a Rocky Creek one that is a battery pack and a compressor in one. I'm looking at that. So it comes with its cable. I already had a battery pack, so I didn't bring the jump cables. I normally carry a jump pack. I just brought, there were two bikes, I brought a set of Ballard's jumper cables. They're super light, they're 1 metre long, enough to get from one bike to the other. Jump start the bike if you need. Super light, come in handy if you go down and you've left something on or one of the bikes doesn't want to start or something. So they were just thrown in. So that, basically those tubes, the slime, that and this went in that bag there, and then that went on the tail. Pretty much set up for this trip. My suspension adjustments, and if we're going to have trouble, the most amount of trouble you have on an adventure ride is tyres. 99% of it's tyres, especially if your bike is well prepared. There is crash damage if it happens, but we have well prepared bikes. So yeah, tyres was the next thing. This is a toolkit that I'm putting together, and I do want to carry it because I'm looking at a Simpson crossing. So I want to try and build my toolkit. This is specifically for this bike. I have the stuff that came in the KTM toolkit, which is these pliers, this thing here. That's a multi-tool of different spanners and a tyre lever, spoke spanner, and a 10 and a 13. Okay, and then that guy and the bits for it are also in there. But I also have the Moto Hanser kit, which is this kit here, and it comes with those flange drive sockets, torque bits, Allen bits, because my bike is actually a mix of bits. Oh, that's a spark plug panel that come with that. This is a great little ratchet, so it's a screwdriver, it's a T-handle, it's a ratchet, but then I also have this one and that one, for if I really need to get on a spanner and undo something for some reason, I can get some decent leverage without killing that. So everything tries to have more than one job. And then yeah, little bits in there, and one of the spark plugs for my bike, just in case I don't have the other one, and of course the old tube puller, you've got to have that guy there. So that should have been in there, but it was already packed when I packed that thing. So bits, extension, wobble, bit thing, and then it also comes with this guy. It's got a knife on it for cutting things. Bottle opener, which is always handy. And then, if I can open it, there it is. It does come out for a set of pliers as well. So that's what comes in that kit. And then that's in a Moscow Moto pinner tool bag, which comes in a waterproof, very rugged, very tough pouch. And so that one on the way up was just volley strapped onto the back rack, and then when I put the tail bag on the back rack, I just volley strapped this in front of it, and that's what we took for the day, which was basically I didn't worry about suspension adjustments, but I took that bag and I took that bag on the first day, and today because it was raining and my backpack is not waterproof, I took the tank bag with a few little odds and sods in it. I brought this backpack. Normally I just carry a 3 litre Camelback because I don't like any gear on my back, but we were going to do park up, walk down the lake and all that sort of stuff. I've got the Audio Baha. The reason is this part here puts my helmet in it, and I can carry the helmet with me away from the bike. Otherwise, yeah, I'd have to bring a helmet lock or whatever, so I can put that in there. As it turns out, I also fit my pants in there after we were slimming in Eli Creek and all sorts of bits. It zips up and does that. The only thing, this is only a 2 litre insulated water bladder, so I prefer 3 because I suck the juice down. It's got a fleece lined pocket for your phones and things like that, and then it's got some little mesh pockets and stuff in there. I filled that up today. I've got a tiny little off-road chain lube. Normally I only use WD-40, but I've got stuff laying around, and then this is great because it's tiny to take with you, and then you take that off and you can actually refill this from the bigger can. So I only ever use off-road stuff or WD-40. My InReach Mini is on my backpack the whole time. Connects up to my Garmin Zumo XT, so yeah, we can message each other if things go pear-shaped, because a lot of the time I have Telstra but Chris has got Optus. I've had pretty much reception most places, especially localities. Chris hasn't, and then there's been times today where I've had to use the 4-wheel drive telegraph because we're at different places at different times. And then in this backpack is the emergency essentials. So there's some crap paper, because crap paper is a premium commodity in Australia at the moment, because everybody wants to buy it up, and the old dig yourself out of trouble shovel. So that's pretty much what I got on board. That's pretty light for me, but it's probably pretty heavy for some other people. But look, I'm a big fella, my bike is pretty light. I can manhandle it. Even with Chris and the minimal gear that he had on the day, his combined weight, he was struggling, and I could carry all of this with ease, pick my bike up with ease, and it didn't really affect me. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. It's just one of those things. So
Yeah, it's always a fine line and a balancing act, but yeah, Michael's bike all loaded up with twice as much gas, all the gear and everything is still lighter than an 890. So, and you know, that makes a big difference when you're picking it up in sand where your feet are moving away from you, the wheels are sliding away from you. You've virtually got to dig a hole to lift your bike up. We did drop them a few times today, almost in tandem. On one section.
I did me three stacks in a day. That's enough.
Yeah.
So
in the morning I'll just add a quick whiz around, but you know we've got armour and knee braces and good boots and good helmets and
I've
stuff.
got top and bottom wets in one of the pockets in my Reckless 40 that I'm not pulling them out.
No, I've got a wet jacket. That's it. So yeah, look, there's different approaches, and you know my approach is obviously a lot lighter and less complete, but my bike is already heavy, so I'm not going to add anything unnecessary. So this was a very, very minimal pack for me. So it's just this stuff, 4 pairs of undies, 2 t-shirts, a pair of shorts to go swimming, and the rest of it is motorbike gear that you can wear. So just thought it'd be interesting to compare the two, and thanks Michael for giving us a run through on that.
Happy days.
Cheers. Pause that. Alrighty, so following on from last night's gear talk, we just thought we'd do a run round on the gear that we're wearing really quickly, and Michael's setup as opposed to mine. So you can see that everything's very neat on the back. We've both got jackets that are easy to access. So Michael's stuff all tucked in there, and that's his little cocoon to sit in. So the Moscow stuff's super tough stuff, that doesn't move. My one, just got the tank bag, the little roll, and the tail bag. So a bit lighter, but it is higher, particularly my weight of my tools. So it's not an ideal setup for, I wouldn't want to have done everything that we've done the last couple of days with it like that. No. So, and we've both got...
So I got CDA Tahoes on, SRS soles, sandwork, so I don't bother changing them out to Enduro soles. I've got Liat X frames on. They're not ideal for this bike because the foot pegs tuck in and the extra bit on the knee sort of bows your leg. I've been meaning to get C frames, but I just haven't got them in. That just does the outside and allows me to hug the bike and not bow my legs, so I've got those coming. Good old Aldi motorcycle socks. Knee braces, I'm wearing them with sleeves. Today I've got some padded push bike shorts on because I've got 300 k's of highway on that enduro seat on the way home, so that just helps alleviate the pain. There's another trick I do that helps alleviate the pain as well. Liat 3DF Airfit. This is my one if I'm doing adventure and I don't think I'm going super hard and I'm not wearing a neck brace. I'll leave the panels in it. If I'm going to go a bit harder than this, I've got 3 extra sets, but I wear the hybrid one with the panels out and wear the neck brace. I probably could have worn the neck brace because I went over the bars yesterday, but sand's soft. Fox Legion jersey, it vents really well, a bit stronger on the arms. We're doing a bit of higher speed stuff the other day before we get back on, and I put my jacket back on. We talked about the bag last night, I put ice in it this morning. So the 5.5 Enduro jacket, it's neck brace compatible, it's water resistant, vents really well. So that'll go back on when we hit the tarmac and head home. A Reckless 40, so that's that bag we went through. All the same stuff was in that bag. It just tucks in there, and then I put it on the back here yesterday. It's got a Velcro bottom so it doesn't move. So these beaver tails are great for just stuffing extra bits and pieces and stuff like that in there. I split my riding gear and my camp clothes up, so I've got my riding clothes are in this bag here. There's a couple of jerseys. I think there's two extra jerseys, some riding underpants and socks, and there's a pair of Gore-Tex socks in case my boots get absolutely soaked. My Keen sandals are in there. That pretty much takes up that pocket. I relocate my spanners onto the outside in this molly pocket, so they're easy to access. This is top and bottom wets. Goggles in the goggle pocket. My pinner bag in its little waterproof bag on the back with these volley straps. It doesn't go anywhere. Rum. And then this is my camp clothes. As you can see, we've only just gotten dressed and I'm dripping with sweat. I'm a hot, sweaty person, so I do take a lot of clothes because I like fresh clothes to wear around the camp and fresh clothes every day. The socks, and even though I've washed them out, well, I'm not wearing them again. I don't have to, I'm too old for that shit. I've got a different pair of gloves. These were the Ultra 8 on the sand gloves. I've got a pair of Fox Bomber gloves in there for when we hit the tarmac. Change them out. The hood goes on, the GPS is on, helmet. That's pretty much that.
Cool. I got the Liat 5.5s pod knee braces. I'm not running the bottom half of these pants today because it's stinking hot. I've got layout armour, hard, and today I'm wearing the jersey because I got sunburned on the 2 gaps in the armour, and I've got 3 other pairs of undies because we came for 4 days, a singlet and a t-shirt, toiletries, all the rest is jewels, and a pair of thongs. So travel a fair bit lighter gear wise. So that's it. We're heading back towards civilization. We've got 150 k's of sand.
Yeah, something like that. We got breakfast to get first,
and then,
mate.
yeah, a ferry crossing and other stuff. So yeah, end of a good trip.
Sweet.
And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see some more of these videos. There's a couple more coming up and a few more bits and pieces. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Cheers.